It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about the best use of landing pages and small business owners. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we have a really good tip for you.
Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Tip for Tip, where you ask your marketing question in exchange for a tip in your industry. My name's Aaron.
And my name is Christian. And today we have Steve Reed from SHUR Wealth Strategies.
Well, my question for Christian and Aaron is pretty simple, has to do with email marketing and other newsletter marketing. My question is this: what is the best way to use landing pages? Is it to put a landing page on Facebook, Instagram, and other social media types of outlets? What do you think, guys?
All right, Steve. So I don't think that, for example, if you're trying to, have people take some kind of action, I think you're asking if it matters if you start from email marketing or Facebook or Instagram and then go to a landing page. I believe you always should use a landing page if you want people in your audience or your target market to get to that action and get to that point, because landing pages provide a focused way for people to do that one thing that you want them to do, either buy your book or sign up for your email newsletter, or purchase, sign up for your webinar, purchase whatever. So I think a landing page is definitely important on all avenues, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or email marketing. I believe that if you have that conversion, that thing that you want them to do, I definitely believe that using a landing page is the way to go.
Right. And the platform that you use, like Christian said, doesn't necessarily matter as much. But to that end, I want to give you advice to say that I would not try all of them at once, because somebody may convert a lot better off of email, and you don't know whether or not it's actually from email that it's converting the best, or is it Facebook, and it's just a lot harder to do that. So be very focused on where you try it. Say, hey, my largest audience happens to be on Facebook. Try it from Facebook to your landing page, and if that works well, then try it with your email and just kind of expand, but don't try to do all of them at once, because it's going to be really hard to figure out, is this really what the problem is? Maybe it's just the landing page needs to be tweaked. So I think that answers your question. It is not necessarily, the landing page is a necessity, but where it starts and originates from doesn't matter as much, and you should test to figure out for you specifically.
Yeah, and I think you could do also, you can test simultaneously by just cloning that landing page for each avenue. So having it for email, having it for Facebook, having it for Instagram of the same page, so that way you actually truly test, where your most responsive audience comes from.
Right. And there may be some overlap, but that's fine.
Yep. All right, let's hear your tip for us.
Well, my tip is real simple. If you're involved in a networking type organization like the Chamber of Commerce, if you have a host or hostess that introduces you by your name and your company name, don't immediately follow by reintroducing yourself. For instance, if I was introducing Aaron with BitBranding, I would say, and our next person is Aaron with BitBranding, he wouldn't come up and say, hi, my name is Aaron with BitBranding. He would go immediately into his 30-second or 60-second message, and then at the very end, tag it with his name and his company name.
Thank you, Steve. I think that's something that gets overlooked by a lot of people.
A lot.
Because they're not paying attention to that. We do it every single time at this show.
Well, yes.
It's different. But yeah, I guess I didn't really realize that I did that. Because I do that.
Okay. So I normally, when it's my 30-second commercial, I don't do that because it is a waste. But I also feel like what your tip is getting at is that people should practice and know what they're going to say for their 30 seconds before they actually say it. And just because somebody else says that their name first, that's really just a waste of time. Like 30 seconds and you wasted 10 seconds telling us the exact same thing. And I like your tip where you tell people at the end to mention their name. So it's kind of like in the beginning they introduce you, and then at the end you kind of reiterate the name. But that way it's not like your name for 20 seconds and then you give it 10 seconds to kind of be helpful. So
really long name for 20 seconds.
Right, exactly. Hi, my name is, well, in the beginning and then at the end, but you know. Either way, so business owners at chambers and networking events, please watch this. Craft your 30 seconds because it will make or break.
Yeah, so what do you have for a question of the day?
My question of the day is, where do you spend your time networking offline? So like, is it a chamber of commerce? Are you part of like Master Networks or BNI? What's the most effective for you in growing your business? Yeah, I'm just curious, where is that? Where is it? I don't know.
All right, Steve, thank you again for coming on our show. And if you're a small business owner around this area, or even a little bit farther, we're willing to drive a little bit. Please go to don't go to tip for tip. Go to bitbranding.co/tip for tip. There's a little form in there. Fill it up, and we'll get you on the show.
All right, and we will see you next week, Wednesday, 12 p.m. Be here.